Whether it's a global pandemic or rioters burning down the city, nothing will turn a feminist into a whore faster or more completely than a good crisis. Let's look at Madonna, the self-proclaimed spokesman of feminism. A few short months ago, she's dancing around the planet in her pink pussy hat, talking about toxic masculinity and how the patriarchy needs to be destroyed because it's white, straight men who are turning the entire planet to shit. Basically nagging. Fast forward a couple months, global pandemic. She thinks it might be the end of the world. What happens? Quickly, the nagging is replaced by this very odd video on YouTube that she posts. It's her taking a bath, but this isn't like a behind the scenes type thing. You know, this is Madonna's morning wake up routine. No. This is choreographed, like with the skill of one of her music videos minus the music. Here's Madonna in her bathtub, in perfect, full makeup. There are rose petals artistically scattered around the edge of the tub, with just the right amount of a few of them on the water like lily pads. And she has set herself in the tub so the water level is at that exact right height where she's probably going to give you as a straight male a boner, but she's covered enough that the other feminists won't call her a whore. And why is she doing this? Well, because when times are easy, women nag men. When times are tough, women need men. So what she's doing, whether or not she's consciously aware of it, this is her evolutionary psychology girl programming taking over, saying, whoa, shit's hitting the fan. It's time to be a whore and get as many men as possible interested in me sexually to ensure my safety and that I can eat. Okay, so let me see if I can explain the evolutionary psychology here a little bit. From my point of view, when I see Madonna in that bathtub video, I don't get excited. In fact, I know that her ancient vagina has seen more traffic and disease than the public toilets at Grand Central Station. Sorry, this is how it is. I have no desire, none. And why? Because I know something. See, while I might not be a billionaire, I am a tech entrepreneur. I own multiple companies that are profitable right now. I have value. Do you think that some hot girl, whether that be Madonna or someone else, is gonna bitch at me about toxic masculinity and nag me into buying her things when my value is high? Fuck that. These women are a dime a dozen. Why? Because I've competed and I've won and I've built up resources. I know when times are tough, I've got my pick of the litter, so to speak. But here's what's interesting. Once you make that realization in your life, and by the way, if you don't happen to have the resources, quick side note, go over to Amazon.com, look at my books. I will teach you how to build the resources like an alpha male. Okay, but I digress. When you go through the tough times and you're the one person with resources, this becomes very, very visible, blatantly apparent. But here's the thing. When times get better again, you take this power, this knowledge with you. And the knowledge that you're going to take into the good times is simply this. The natural state of the universe is chaos. The natural state of a feminist is a whore. It's only in recent history that we have these decades strung together where times are good, which allow women the luxury to be bitchy and to nag us. And as soon as you figure that out, you realize that when times are good, all you have to do, don't put up with it. A woman wants to nag you about toxic femininity, toxic femininity, that's what they call a Freudian slip. If a woman wants to nag you about toxic masculinity during good times, you remind them what Madonna did when the world was ending. And you just laugh at them. No matter what they throw at you, once you have this knowledge, your metaphor for interpreting these interactions goes like this. You're like a fucking tank. And that feminist that's hurling this bullshit at you is like a little 6-year-old girl with a slingshot, loading the slingshot up with toxic masculinity, poof, and shoots it at the tank. Now these are like Tic Tacs hitting the tank. The tank isn't even aware of it. The tank's just like, oh, I'm sorry, did you shoot a Tic Tac at me with a slingshot? That's where your power is. So here's the lesson to be learned out of this video. Number one, look at what's going on right now while times are a little tough. You're going to see very, very easily this real evolutionary psychology, this default state. And as times get better, when you understand that, the nagging isn't going to happen.